I'd like to bring on Binit. Binit, are you there, buddy?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Man,
Good evening.
fantastic. There you
Good
are.
evening,
Where's the
everybody.
hat?
Yeah,
Where's the hat?
actually, my daughter took it away.
Your
she
daughter
said
took
she wants
the
to
hat?
wonder, but I did not get it. Told her to bring it back, but unfortunately, I'm on COVID, so I don't want to include anyone in
Right,
my
yeah.
right now.
All right, Binit. Well,
Yeah.
tell everybody a little about you and your family.
Well, just first of all, I would like to thank my wife and my family first right now to stay with me together right now and during this bad time for me. I'm under quarantine. I tested negative on the November 6th, and till today I'm quarantining myself in this room. So they've been putting off a lot. So thanks to them for hanging out there, and hopefully I'll be out of COVID in a few more days and able to enjoy my family. Anyways, I was actually born in Nepal. I moved to US for my undergrad education, and I'm very excited to get my degree from here and wanted to work for corporate world and maybe be CEO or whatever. That was the goal. Never thought about doing business in US. And over the time period, I did work for companies out there. I was never happy because I wanted to achieve what I wanted to do, and I just wanted to do more, do something that has a value in the long term, not just today and go work and get a paycheck and tomorrow bye bye. So I hung in there for a while. I had to make some savings, absolutely, and did not know what to do because I had no one to tell me what to do. I only had people who were working with me at the corporation, and we just hung around and we thought about how to be a manager, maybe senior director or whatever. Right? That was the talk, which we talked about. David was talking earlier that it depends on whom you hang around with, right? So if you hang out with people who have just the daily day-to-day job, that's
Do we lose him? Alex, do you hear him still, or is it me?
No, I don't. Binit, you there,
Benito?
buddy? There he is.
yeah.
Okay, okay, go ahead, Benito. There was your internet connection died for a second.
Oh,
You
so
know,
sorry,
hey,
so
Binit,
sorry.
I want to add to what you were just saying. So, I teach my kids this and a lot, especially new members, that if you want to be a millionaire, you should hang around with 5 millionaires. When you hang around with 5 millionaires, you know what happens? You become the 6th millionaire in the group. So you're absolutely correct.
And that's what took me all the way here. I mean, definitely, I started with a very small dollar. Literally, I want to disclose this. When I first moved to US, my dad just gave me $2,000 to pay my first semester tuition, and that's all I had. No food money, nothing. That's all I had. And from there, I'm multimillionaire today, and I'm thankful today that I joined Lifestyles when I came to 2013. I was kind of hesitant. I'm like, this is all fake. So that's what happens. I mean, I joined in 2013, and then I became a PIG member in 2014. So I lost 1 year. Alex, 1 year you can be making millions, right? So that
Yep.
whole year, I just attended the case study and I walked away. And after 1 year, when I quit my job, then I said, you know what? I got to go back and check these guys out. Are they really true? I came back and I just said, I'm in. I attended David's seminar for 2 days. I said, no, I'm in. And just like you said, Alex, you invested your first deal in a month. I invested the next day after David's seminar. Next day. I mean, I attended a seminar, and 2 days later, here you go. I'm putting 75K on a deal, right? So that's how fast I moved. And I tell that to everybody. If you really want to be successful, you got to act on it. You can't just sit out there. And you look at the examples that Lifestyles have set so far. It is not something fluffy stuff. It's a real stuff, real path to success. And that is what I am today. So I happen to do lots of things. My background is that I did start retail business for a while because I knew cash flow is there. Oh man, life is miserable in real estate. I'm sorry, sorry, my bad. In a retail store. And retail store is all about 24/7. You work in the business 24/7. Yes, you do make a little money, but your equity doesn't grow. It cash flows there, but the equity doesn't go. The business value
Right.
evaluation maybe go by 2%, 2% every year, but the real estate can go by 100%. And that is why I jumped into real estate and bought me first deal within my first year of Lifestyles joining, 22 units in Louisville, and I still have it. Alex, you must have sold yours, but I haven't
Oh no, the internet.
Oh, am I cutting off?
There you
Yeah.
go. We got you. You're good.
Give me, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm sitting upstairs in a room. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, you're fine. You're good. Go.
Okay. Good, good, good.
So
So
you
yeah,
were saying,
overall,
okay, so you got your first deal and you have five deals as a lead,
yeah, and I
KP,
have
LP.
KP2 deals, and I have 9 single family, passive investments, and I have 9 single families.
Okay. All right. And you kind of touched on why you joined Lifestyles, but there's a few other things you haven't touched on here. Go ahead.
I mean, definitely lifestyles, I always look for some kind of platform where I can grow. I did investigate.
See, this is what happens when you catch COVID. You have to go into quarantine and your wife locks you in the ceiling or something.
Yeah,
That's right.
the poor guy's had it for like 27 days now.
Yeah, 27 days. My connection is bad, I guess, right?
It's okay.
Okay.
We got you back.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I should have tested again. I mean, I have one of the good network, but I guess today is a bad day. But overall, the platform that I was looking for, that was Lifestyles provided. And I thought that, initially when I first came in, I saw David's seminar and I figured that there is, because I could not make sense. I'm like, how the hell do you make money in real estate? But when I look back,
He keeps cutting out. We might have to get right to his deals.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, we'll wait till he comes back in,
yeah.
hopefully.
So what he's going to cover, that last deal, the 54 unit in Irving. But as you all can see here on the properties that he's acquired, the 97, the 22. He was talking about, oh, he dropped off. Maybe he's going to try and reconnect.
So yeah, you can just go through the numbers quick, kind of get them. Because what is my goal? I want to make an 8% return and 100% every couple of years, and it looks like he's doing that on most of his deals.
Yeah, he's been crushing it on a lot. I mean, you just look at these average cash flow on the 22 unit is 18%. And you guys, for those who are members and those who are going to be members, look at the different sizes here. I mean, you could get into these smaller properties, 18% return. There's a property I sold this year, myself and my partner, where we were crushing it at 35% was our annualized return.
Right.
And so the thing about there's a big difference between the smaller deals and the bigger deals. These smaller deals, man, it's like a dinghy. You can turn it around in no time flat. But then if you're looking at some of these bigger
to a
deals,
better area.
there you go.
I have broke my quarantine, guys.
Oh no!
Quarantine. Okay, I'm open. I will sanitize the house tomorrow. No big deal.
Binit, what we were just talking about is you're comparing your 22 unit to some of the bigger deals that we see out there, and how much easier it is to turn a small property around versus a bigger property. Because turning around a bigger property is like turning around an aircraft carrier. I mean, it's a big circle that you have to take. But these smaller properties, man, you can turn them around quick, and you can make a lot of moves in them really quickly too. So if you want to touch on these briefly.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out to the people who are listening, you don't have to go big to make big money. You can take a small product and have 4 or 5 investors in there and go make money. It's all about cash on cash. It's not about how big of a deal you're doing. It's about cash on cash. You put $100,000, how much are you going to get it back? Doesn't matter what size the property is. It's the lead's job to operate that. And if you're as a passive, who cares if it's small or big? And that shows real example right here, from small properties to big properties. We do make money. It's just that you need to focus on how much money you're going to make. And that's all in real estate, in multifamily. What is your cash and cash return, and what is the time frame on return? And that shows a real example over here. And I'm very, very blessed that everything that I've done in real estate is all under Lifestyles umbrella. And the members at the Lifestyles, the mentors and the realtors, I mean, it's been a blessing, tell you the truth. I have not turned on, just like you said, from that day I walked in, I don't know any other organization. I'm telling you this from my heart. I don't know any other real estate investments group at all because I don't have to look at it anywhere else. I'm getting more than what I paid for, more than what I have asked for. So why would I go browse around? And I have a success record that I'm sharing with right now. And this is a true number to people not knowing what's going on. And just to get Alex on this one, if you look at the Louisville 22 units, and there is a multifamily 16 units, I don't want to make people jealous and feel bad. That 16 units I bought last year in 2019 May, and I'm refinancing next week. I'm going to get that 250% return in my bank. And guess what I'm doing with that money?
What are you doing with it?
I'm just buying 16 more units next to it.
Are you really?
Yeah. I'll have a 32 units with my down payment on my first 16 units. I had out of pocket $360,000. And guess what? I have now 32 units with my $360,000, and I have done cash flow day one.
Right.
$360,000. It took me to buy 32 units and a cash flowing 10% after refi almost. So, people have to understand that there is so much opportunity out there. You just have to get on this train and get moving. You bought a ticket already just by logging into this seminar. And if you don't use your ticket, you're going to lose the train. And that's what I've done for the whole year in 2013, 2014. I could have made millions then. There was marketing was such a great.
So you got the party hyped up here. I want everybody to see what you're doing. So let's go to the next slide, David. So you've got me excited, and I already know the answer to the test here. So go ahead, kick it off.
So this is what happened. This is one of the toughest deals that I had to do mentally, not because of product. It was under contract, February 20-something, 26, I guess. And here you go, COVID hits, right? And when COVID hits, cold fit, people got panicked. People did not know what to do. I hung in there. My money was hard, $150,000 hard day one. And I was ready to walk away from this deal, okay? I said, brokers, take the money, let me go, because I don't know if I'm gonna survive this COVID, right? Why would I buy a property? But I had a good people around me, good mentors around me. They kept saying, hang in there, you can do it. It is a good product. Do the number crunching. If the number works, look at how it's gonna work out. Look at your downfall, look at your upfall. You have enough capital in going in, that's all you need, and making sure it's a good location, good product. Everything was working. Even my lender, I was like, man, listen, let them take my money, I'm going. He said, hang in there, man. You got the good loan, you got good people around you, you have good investors, keep on tagging in there. And I start bargaining with my buyer, a seller. I bargained him down 9% discount on the purchase price, which is $500,000. I gained 25% equity day one buying this deal. So I bought it in May at the day after we extended the period. In May we bought it, and it was $100,000 per door. We put $2 million out of pocket. That included our $650,000 rehab money, and our initial financing was I got a financing.
How much did your smallest investor put in to this deal?
I had a 25,000, my smallest. I keep always in my deal, Alex, and you also do that as well. Anyways, anybody else does that? We all do that. We always keep 5 to 7 spots for our 25,000 spot. And to be honest with you, I have one of my deals in Fort Worth. I have someone invested $10,000.
Right. Yeah, I've heard of other owners that are doing that too. But 25K, a lot of members and people can get in for 25, 50, 100, whatever the different amount is.
And I want to thank both you guys for doing that, because I want the new people to understand this. We all became millionaires because of this, but we didn't start as millionaires. And Dell's big premise is, what about the little guy? What about the police officer? What about the bus driver? Don't they deserve to become millionaires as well? And I like the fact that we're not making it the old boys network. People with as little as $25,000 can do this. So I want you to remember that if you come to my seminar this weekend, that you can invest as little as $25,000 in these apartment deals. So remember what you're hearing right now, that Binit had people, and it doesn't matter if you put in 25 grand, 50K or 100K, if you make a 50% return, it's 50% return regardless of the amount of money you put on, okay?
Right, and it's important for everybody to understand the cash out of pocket being $2 million. That's not just a handful of people putting that money in there, just 5 or 6. I mean, it's a big group of people, and that's why it's called a syndication. So you've got multiple people, 25, 50, 100, just different groups, and everybody's putting their money into the same pot for this acquisition that he made. Okay, so we got the numbers. Let's move on to the next slide. see some pictures here, David. David, there you go. Okay, take it away, Binit.
So right now, income when we first took over was very low. I knew that's going in, and I was lucky enough to get this property under contract. Going in, I knew it's 25% below market, and I was able to push that day one. As of today, we are 100% occupied and 100% collection. Beside one bad lady, who's sorry to say bad lady, but one bad resident who has taken advantage of COVID and staying there without paying rent for the last 3 months. But luckily, her lease expired and we have filed eviction. So that's long story. David will tell you how to work on the operation. But we brought the income to $768,000. That's annualized income. Annualized income. That's the monthly income. That's annualized income. And our expense is $360,000 for the property. So we're netting right now $19,000 monthly cash flow on that after paying all the debts, all the expenses, and that's $19,000 we are cash flowing. So total NOI, which David will explain to you on our his seminar once you attend it, is called net operating income, which is $408,000. And that's where the property is valued at. When you take that NOI and you divide by CapEx, David's going to talk about more. And that's what we focus on the real estate. What is your NOI? And we brought the NOI from the day purchase. The purchase date was 28 or 29 some $1,000, and we have an NOI going $408,000. That's almost very close to doubling the NOI. Means doubling this crazy number. I can't even I can't express how much a return we're getting during COVID purchase. 2020, we purchased this deal, and we are looking at making tons of money. So cash and cash is 11.4% return year one. I was projecting, Alex, for my investors, I told them, hey, I'm going to give you 1%. Are you willing to invest during COVID? They all came and said, because you know why they came, Alex? And I want to point that out. I said, I'm going to give you 1% cash and cash. But they came, you know why? Because they were educated investors at Lifestyles. Because they knew this guy is projecting because he just want to make sure worst situation, but he knows what he's doing. And I'm not trying to praise myself because it's syndication deal. We all had to come together to make the deal happen. And I was lucky to, unfortunately, to have all these members who are educated and they know exactly how to read the deals. And they knew exactly. And we make 11.4%.
Yeah, and so let me, for everybody listening, and I know we've got a huge group on here, and when he's talking about being educated, so Lifestyles has an education, we're an education mentoring group, and we have what's called a passive certification. And so what that allows is all our passive members to understand how these deals are structured, how they're analyzed, how they're valued, how it's all put together. So you keep hearing them say they were educated, they were educating. When you're joining and putting your money into a deal like this, you understand what's going to happen and what the game plan is, because we have this map that was created when Dell put all this together, and we don't reinvent the wheel on this. We follow the roadmap, which is exactly what Binit is talking about. Rinse and repeat, and this is why he's so successful. Okay, so Binit, real quick, before we move to the next slide, how much did you buy the property for?
I bought it for $5.4 million.
And what's the net worth right now?
8 million plus.
Fantastic.
I'm not kidding.
That's a mic drop line right there.
That's just insanely stupid crazy. Okay.
And I know you haven't been to my seminar in a long time, Binit, and you haven't seen me. When you make that much money, do you know the technical term in the industry for that?
Oh, I know they're talking about peeing your pants crazy.
Thank you. I just wanted to see if I can get a guy from Nepal to say it. There we go.
No, all right, go to the next slide, David.
Yeah.
Okay, these are some of my favorites.
So this is the last unit that we just rehabbed, and we rented this one on a market value. The person who was living there for $875, and right now we have rented for $1,299. Just do the math, Alex. It's $875 and $1,299, plus I'm charging $50 for the parking.
Nice.
Yeah, so that is
love
where
that other income.
And we start, when the sliding doors goes off, and we're trying to just go and do a patio door, give you a little bit of more home look because it's townhomes, right? And we did the solar screens, and it gives you a little bit of more home feeling rather than sliding doors, always like an apartment situation. When you have a townhomes, I put the patio door. It's only cost me $80 more, and
You
that
know,
really,
and one thing I like about the patio door is it just looks more homey. It
yes,
creates that
that is the
sense of
whole reason.
community. And
Yeah,
when you have a sense of community, people want to stay there longer. And when
yeah.
people renew their leases, it
Hmm.
reduces our turnover cost. And our turnover cost is the cash flow killer, which is
Yeah.
why we do this.
And this is something that we did. We tried out in one of the apartments when we first rehabbed, and we said, let's go take the staircase, steps, this carpet out, and add the stove, add wood. So every time we change the carpet now, we're planning to go and start doing the wood. That way, at least it's a little pricey. I have to pay $400-500 extra, but what it does, this long-term cost goes down. And this is what sells. When they walk in and they're like, oh my God, I want it. Just to let everybody know, I can still raise the rent today by $50 to $75 right now, and I will get it. But
Right,
I'm not being that greedy right now, but we'll take that next year.
right.
I mean, definitely we got the pool this way. When we moved in, we got pool fixed, pool pump fixed and everything. And we opened the pool. The pool was never open for last 2 years or 3 years. They never didn't care. And we opened the pool and people loved it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we had a
Did you
very
get rid of the
limited.
alligators and the moccasin that were living in there?
Mhm. I'm sorry?
Did you get rid of the alligators and the
Oh,
moccasin
absolutely.
snakes that were living in there? Swamp
It
thing?
was almost a fishing pond, man. Actually, we got
Terrible.
a ticket. We got a ticket day one because we changed
I love
ownership,
it.
right? We
I
changed
love it.
ownership, and Irving guy came and gave me a ticket and said, I said, man, you don't have to worry about it. That's part of my plan. Don't worry. You're gonna be surprised to see how property gonna progress. And just a little bit of touch up here and there. We don't have to go crazy on rehab. We just basically found a way to enhance the look a little bit. The office was actually a garage before. They made an office and there was no restroom. I gotta have to make the restroom. You cannot have a restroom. So we took everything out, cleaned up, and put a new restroom in one of the small closet that they had. We created new structure, so it worked out pretty good. You know, nice pergola. My contractor, he just said, hey, I'm gonna put a pergola rather than putting, kind of awning. I'm like, okay, well,
Right.
looks good to me, so let's go for it.
Oh,
That-
it has a modern look to it. Just the new paint, the new light fixtures,
Yeah.
uh, new hardware on the doors, the pergola, the bathroom with the granite countertop, just everything. It's just so modern and beautiful.
Yeah, I know people must be thinking why there's no mirror, but the picture was taken before we put the mirror on the in the bathroom. But we put my office lady wanted a backsplash, all plank. I'm like, okay, that's fine. You want a
Right.
plank? We'll put a plank. That makes you happy as an officer. That's fine with me.
Oh, well,
I thought
David has
you
blank on
went
his
to
ceiling.
vampires and Medusa.
Medusa.
Yeah, you can't have a mirror then. Never mind.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
weird.
Here is the big picture for everyone. I mean, I know people must be thinking how the heck you make money, but there is lots of deals out there. If you do buy good deals, you do have returns, and that's what Lifestyles really brought us over here. Because if I didn't have education enough, I would have passed this deal to someone else. People need to look at it. If you're not educated enough, and if you don't have a group of people who can support you, you have no team, for instance, and if you don't have those mentoring services available for you when you need it, I'm panicking. I called you other day, right? I called Mike other day, say, hey Mike, I'm thinking this, man, how much you're paying your employees and things like that during this COVID. So we have that available, and that is what makes us more successful than anybody else out there, because we have a dedicated team and we are actually very closed mentoring program. Because I can reach out to you any given day. I can reach out to Mike or Don any given day, even David. One text message, one phone call away, and that is why this number is there. It's not because I made it happen by myself or the property by itself, because it's a group of investors, group of mentor, and good support that I've got, and that is why I'm making magic for my investors right now. And you can look at the year one income is 768, our operating expense is 360, net operating income is 408, and then our mortgage and other expenses are $180,000 a year. That gives us net cash flow of $28,000, which is 11.4% return. And I can guarantee you, man, Alex, I don't think I have, in this market to find something like this, it's not easy at all. And
That's right.
if you're not educated enough and you don't have a guts to do the job, right? And if you don't have good passive investors behind you who are willing to invest with you and mentoring program, I don't think I can do this. because we're gonna pass these deals because we're on our own. And we think, when I was on my own, I was thinking that, oh, I'm the greatest, okay? I'm the best. And when you come to realize, what Lifestyles has to produce, I mean, I can print every single piece of document that I want to during my purchase. I can say, oh, I need a checklist. Let me go to Lifestyles Hub, right? And I print those checklists, what needs to be done, step-by-step questions. If I was by myself, I'm not going to be able to do that. Absolutely
That's
not. I
correct.
have to sit down
Yeah.
and create all those templates. And people need to look at it. Year 1 is 11.4, year 2 is 12.55, and year 3 is 9.3. And I know David is going to jump in here to explain. This is the reason we have a 2 years of interest only on my loan, which is a good loan. And then on the third year, we have to pay the full mortgage. And that's why our return dips a little bit, but that is not a concern because our best part right here, the NOI, is going up and up and up, means our property value is going up and up and up, means our equity capture is tremendous.
And real simple to explain this if you're brand new tonight. Everything at the top looks like gobbledygook to you. You don't understand that. I'll explain all the terminology at a third grade level this weekend so you'll understand it. Just look at it as if you invested in a bond and it's paying 11% return tax-free. The next year, 12%, and then 9%. Wouldn't that be good? That's what you got to understand it as. And that's how you look at it.
So
And
here's
this
the
one, the Pat's exciting part.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And this is, I was telling Alex, man, I'm like, this is not real, man, but number is, I can't figure out this. Are you really going to project my, my product out there? I mean, this deal, because it is unreal to the market, because I am truly giving you the number that is true. Our investors get this report every month and they can vouch for it, right? So that's what I'm trying to tell all the listeners out there, that you gotta get on the train. You gotta get on and start learning and start investing, because I lost time and I could have made a couple of $1 million in that 1 year if I was smart enough. And I started late, but I'm still on the right track. So I'm not gonna regret that. Never look back and regret, but learn
So
from
you
it.
can open that. I remember after case studies several times,
Yeah.
there was a bunch of us would go out and eat and stuff, and you would come and you were skeptical. I remember that year. You remember that?
Yeah. I know, but I'm pretty blessed and happy that I have a team like you guys in there, and it is, I cannot stop thinking. Matter of fact, just before we go on further, and I'll talk later on, but this is our projection right here. Day 1, I captured $500,000 equity because I had a $500,000 discount. Now on day 1, the property was appraised for $6.1 million. We bought it for 5.4. So we actually have a almost $700,000 equity, but I'm just giving you 500,000 because that's the discount I got. So I'm being a little bit for, kind of a conservative over here. Year 1, I have a return over here because I projected a 1% cash and cash return with a very small equity capture, but we were able to do the job because of the education, because of the mentoring program, because of the support that we have, how to do the business well, right? Under promise and over, deliver. And that's what we did. We went there day 1, we changed the whole operation because I was educated well enough. And my investors were trusting me what I'm doing because they're also educated, fully educated, to make sure to trust the lead, what the lead is doing, because they know exactly what I know, they also know. So it's in sync. We both are in sync. It's just the fact that they are passive and I'm lead, right? But we both have the same education, and that's the education that I think I want to emphasize to everybody today, that if you don't have this education, yes, you could be smartest guy out there, but the blueprint that Lifestyle is providing, and also the guidance and the support that you get here, this is the real number that you see. You can do it on your own. You saw the previous presentation by our single family mentor, a single family member. He's one of our investors in this one, and he was educated. That's why he invested with me, and that's the number that you see. Year 1, I'm saying my equity capture is $2.7 million. I only put in $2 million in this deal. That's 100% return year 1, right? Next year, I'm going to 150% return. Third year, I'm going to 200% plus return, right? And guess what? I do have a loan to back this deal to refi in 3 years without a problem because I took a best loan. And why? Because I was educated enough to pick the right loan for my deals. It's not just because someone suggested me go get it. We were educated to make sure that you pick the right loan, you pick the right deal, you pick the right, capital expenditures and so forth. So I cannot emphasize more enough that education program that you can get, education that you get on this in this program right here is priceless, literally priceless. And so I'm looking at right here, and I'm hoping to return 200+% to our investors if we refinance in 3 years, and which we may, because I don't mind paying just a little bit of a penalty on my loan and get a new loan. If the interest rate is still good in 3 years, we should be able to cash this out with a 200+ interest, 200%, 200+ return in year 3.
Yep, it's beautiful. Peeing your pants excited, David.
David is peeing his pants right now. He has made enough money, man. He has made too much money already. He's like, oh, that's nothing to me. I'll go make 400% return tomorrow. I'll find something.
Look, to me, I don't care. It's funny, like with my investors and my deals, whatever, I'm more excited by the guy who puts in 25 grand and turns into 50 grand than the guy that turns $1 million into 2 million, because to him, that's life changing. You know what I mean? It's just so much more for that little guy. I love the fact that you have some little guy. Did you have any, I don't know how many people you had in this deal. How many investors did you have?
On this one, we had 29 investors.
29. Were any of those brand new people? Do you remember?
I do. Our previous, sorry, I'm so sorry. I forgot the name of our previous single family. Brian, sorry, Mark, right? Mark is a new person. He just joined. He had just joined.
He invested in this deal. Okay.
Yeah, he invested.
I didn't know if it was this property or a different one.
No, he probably invested in this property. I had 4 new members call me in. They met me at the expo, right? And I got under contract right after expo. And they met me over there. They sent me an email. I said, okay, that's fine. I mean, you're new, but have you completed your certification? As passive. And they said yes. And they sent me the verification questionnaires. And we were enough.
You literally joined and then they're already in your deal. I just want for the new people, because the new people watching are like, well, if I join, can I get deals? Of course you can, but that I want to hear from you, not from me.
Yeah, I know. Matter of fact, David, I'm the real example. You can go check my record. I joined the day after I walked away from your seminar. The same week, one of the Lifestyles member had a deal going on. I said, hey man, I just become a member. I'm educated now. Can I do a deal? I put 75K. The 1 week, first week, I wrote a check 75K, and I made 280% return on that one.
Okay.
I
guess that paid for your membership.
Yeah, and I owe you champagne, because if I had not joined that one, I would have not made that 280% return. So
hey, just David, just buy a pair of Yeezys.
You would have missed that one. Yep.
What do you say, Alex?
I was saying, if you want to pay David back, just buy him a pair of Yeezys, size 12.
Yeah, that's what he bought me, a pair of Yeezy shoes, just so you know.
We'll talk more about that over the weekend.
Yeah. Are you going to come to my seminar this weekend, Alex, or no?
Well, if you invite me.
I'll invite you right now.
Okay, I'm in.
Your story with them on Sunday.
I'm in.
Now I voluntold people, Binit. You like that? I get volunteers?
Yeah. And I mean, again, that's what we do at Lifestyles. I want to tell everybody, investors out there in passive or any new members, that our commitment to the membership is not just because I want to make money. The idea over here to be a team member and provide the support to other members when they need it, because you cannot get that outside. And that's what we here as together. And tell you the truth, I love Lifestyles like my family. Okay, everybody out there, I expect them like my family, because there's no difference than anything else. It's not acquaintance or my friends. They're like my family. That's what I feel every day. And every day I wake up, I'm like so happy. I don't have words to explain. I'm not kidding, man. It is life-changing event. And matter of fact, my wife, I joined Lifestyles. So I was basically having my wife say, hey, you continue working for a couple of more years, and I'm going to retire you as well. Let me get in this and get my stuff done. And in 1.5 years, I retired her. She works for me now. I don't want to say works for me now.
She works for you now, okay.
She works with me now,
With me, yes, that's what I say about my wife. I never say she works
all of us, right?
We know I'm up here and she's there, but you get in trouble when you say that.
Yeah, so I'm very fortunate to have her, because she has the background on finance and accounting, and we did go to school together. We understand each other very well. So she takes care of the back end stuff, and I take care of the front end stuff. So it's been working like a charm. It's like a everyday same thing. She knows exactly what to be done. Get all the financing, reports get going out and things like that, and I review it together and we send it out. So it's working good. So she has been retired because I generated enough cash flow from all these different investments. Within less than 3 years into deal, 3 years into lifestyles, I retired her and myself too. So basically, we both were done in 3 years with corporate world, and we've been working for ourselves.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
From the time you joined
Mm-hmm.
till now,
Mm-hmm.
how much does your net worth get up? No, don't give a dollar sign, but did it double? What did your net worth go up from? I think this is always impressive when I tell people this.
No, actually, David, I was gonna bring that up. I'm a little shy to say that I did not make enough money. You know why? Because I was not aggressive enough. My net worth was less than half a million when I first joined. I'm close to 6.5 right now.
Bam!
Yeah.
Still good?
Actually, when I refinance, I may, when I get other property in a few months, I may be a little bit higher than that. So, but again, I think I should be right now close to 10 to 15 right now. That's the number I should be. But again, that's what happens sometimes. So you have setbacks here and there, and that stops you. You gotta be actually continuously getting educated, be involved, be active, continue looking at the deals. Don't get frustrated because deals doesn't make sense. No big deal. Pass on, move on to the next one. And you got to continue to involve yourself, and you can't just be frustrated because we know it's been proven. And I want to give one example to everybody who's listening out there. It's not preaching. I think majority who are listening out there must be living in their house. I want them to go look at what they purchased the house for, and go look at the value today, and ask yourself, did you do anything to get that value? No. Real estate grows itself. All I have to do, and multifamily, all we do, we decorate it a little bit, tip top it a little bit, and we get this huge income because multifamily grows 10 times, 100 times faster than single family. Single family is all about market comps, but multifamily is all about the operation. You better operator you are, better return you're gonna get. But
That's
bottom
right.
line right here, all the real estate that we have in the world has never lost money, regardless. People say have bad product, old product. If we have a bad product, that's why we go into and buy those bad products and make it better. We want those bad people, bad operators out there anyways, because we want to make money off their failures, right? And that's why
Absolutely.
you need education to be able to recognize where is this product, right? And we look for those. And matter of fact, this presentation that I did right now, I bought this product from a guy from California. I could tell. I walked in the property and I say, my God, he is bleeding because he didn't really care. His operation was the office was closed, pool is green, people are complaining, work orders are all outstanding. The manager is just getting a free space to live and not even there. Okay, I called so many times to get to the manager, never. And I saw it. He was bleeding. The day I purchased this deal, they're operating, their net, the collection was like $48,000. In less than 5 months, David, you know
Oh,
the
man,
number
yeah,
very
we'll
well.
talk about that on Sunday.
Yeah, but I got right now our collection from 48 is $66,000 in 5 months. That is an increase of more than 24 to 27% increase. That's just the revenue increase that was, which means revenue of 10% increase can give you almost 100% return, right? If the 20 revenue
Actually,
of 27%.
it's probably like 140%, but that's besides the
So,
point.
Mhm.
So guys, what Binit's talking about is operations, repositioning of these assets. And that's what within lifestyles, that's what we teach. That's what we train on. That's what we do. We buy these underperforming assets. We go in and we tweak and change the operations. We bring in motivated people, best product, best price all day long. And that's why we get the valuations that we get. Again, our properties, you keep hearing Binit talk about the NOI, the NOI. It's so important because as David's going to teach you, that's how these assets are evaluated, applying the cap rate to it. And you'll learn all about that Sunday, probably, right, David? Sunday, Saturday evening?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a lot of fun. And then, yeah, and everybody can do this. Don't think you have to have a real estate background. People come here with no real estate background, truck drivers, lawyers, doesn't matter your background. Everybody can do it. I want to make sure everybody knows that too.
Right.
Cool. What do we got next?
I mean, again, to achieve what, as I mentioned, I can't repeat again over and over, with the team that we have at Lifestyles. And, you know, the question, how has Lifestyles only changed your life? I mean, I think by now everybody should know why, how I've changed my life. And David asked me already a question from $500,000 to close to $6.5 million in net gain. That tells you your life has changed. I have already retired myself in terms of retired from corporate world, and I'm working for my own, investments. So, and my wife is not working. She was working in a team. You can see the change. I don't have to drive this down. And the main, again, the other part that I was mentioning during my presentation, that I treat Lifestyles members as my family, and that is the biggest gain, one of the biggest gains that I have. That I can walk into the office. I mean, unfortunately, not right now, and I can give anybody a hug, and they and I mean, anybody and I, we connect right away. You don't need any kind of, okay, or you are not a whatever. I mean, my point, you got my point here, that the respect that we have for each other, and that's what you gain from this as well, and the knowledge that you bring in. So, I mean, things have changed. I don't want to read the whole thing that I typed up, but life has literally changed from from night to day. And I bought a house, my dream home, basically, during COVID, and I have remodeled it, I fully remodeled because I knew how to do it, right? I learned from Lifestyles, and I rehab my own house. And kids are happy, families are happy, and we are constantly investing. Every day we're thinking about what to buy next.
Yeah, but you put your Christmas tree up too early.
Uh, guess what, man? During quarantine, you need to do something. My wife is going crazy. Okay, my kids are going crazy.
No, we put ours up too. I get it. My wife made me do it too. I'm like, but yeah.
I'm doing mine this weekend.
Yeah. So
You
I'm
can
not.
enjoy Christmas for the whole month.
So, but it's exciting, and it's neat because I see like your fan club here on Facebook. They're writing me messages all the time, and there's other leads, that like Supriya's talking good about you. And it's neat how we all support each other. We'll all share information. We'll open our books to each other, and it's kind of cool to have that whole group that way. So
yeah,
awesome.
And again, the best part right now, we take vacations at our own will. We don't.
Yeah, you control your time now, not somebody else. You're not punching a clock anymore.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, do you want to talk about your goals and stuff like that next? What's your goals? Where's Benita gonna end up?
Binit will end up very happy. I mean, I'm already happy, and I'm very blessed to have to stumble upon Lifestyles. I know people have heard about Lifestyles on the radio. They listen to Radio for Dell and so many times, but I said, you know what, man, I know it. If you have done it right and you're showing me, I don't have to be preached 100 times. And I'm an educated person. I know what it is. You're showing me path. I know it's true. Let's get on it, right? That's the attitude that I had. So I didn't have to wait listening to Dell for 5 years on the radio. I know some of the members finally joined after listening to Dell for 3 years and 4 years. I don't know what they're waiting for. So they lost a lot. So my goal is continuously right now, I work on our portfolio that we have. I do manage all our properties, so and it keeps us busy a little bit, and trying to add some more on our portfolio so we have economy of scale, and have a decent cash flow. But right now we have enough cash flow to actually retire both of us. So I'm not too greedy to just buy something junk just to make number look good on my portfolio. But overall, I'm looking for good deals all the time. And the long-term goal, again, I truly think that waking up every morning and just having one good property, that one good property can actually sell you through. And I'm looking for that day when I can cash out everything that I have and buy me that one good deal. And then guess what? Chill.
Okay, I have one more question for you because there's new people listening tonight. You're here, you and your wife putting the whole deal together, doing all this work.
Mm-hmm.
But you explain those other investors that put their money in their deal. How much work do they have to do on this property? What is their involvement? Can you explain what a passive investor is to the people out there listening so they understand?
0 minute if you want to, like me, first deal I spent 0 minute putting it, right? Or if you want to be very thorough, yes, you can do half a day research, 1 day research. But remember one thing, you're not investing with me just because you walk on from the street. You're investing with me because you're already part of the Lifestyles. I can't get investment from outside lifestyle. So when I'm syndicating, I'm only getting people from lifestyles to invest with me. That's the rule number one, that people don't realize, that one of the best part of lifestyles, which means I have to pick someone from the member groups. And then second thing is that they have to be 100% educated, which means I don't want to go out there and explain them what is NOI on the phone or in the meeting. All I talk about, hey guys, I got a deal. I got a cash and cash returns of 100% in 5 years. Are you interested? That is my pitch, right? And they understand exactly what I'm talking about. We don't have to dig deeper saying, okay, let me tell you how much I'm going to spend on my, fans and motors and tiles. No, we directly go 5 minutes, one conversation. Are you in or not? Because you're educated, I'm educated, you know the deal, I know the deal. And in 5 minutes, you can invest money because you're educated and I'm educated. And also things that, because all the passives are building relation, and they happen to come to know leads personally, and they know it. They build this relation, so they know their styles, they know their attitude, and they know what kind of deals they were looking for. So you find out prior, even before the deal comes out, what Alex is looking for. People whom they, people who know him, they know Alex is looking for deals like this, and they start attracting towards him, saying, Alex, keep me posted. When you get something, let me know and I will invest. Same thing with me. People know me, what kind of deals I look for and what kind of return they're looking for, right? And if you match, so we do that every day. That's why we have all this, case studies and networking events and all these different classes that, David, actually, I'm tired, man. You guys are doing too many seminars and too many classes. I can't keep up, okay? Too many education classes. And I'm like, my wife, like, what's going on? You always on the webinar. I'm like, yeah, there's some class for some tax thing, and there's a class for some accounting, and there's a class for the.
They were doing the tax plan the other night. People are like worried we have two things going at once, driving them crazy. So yeah.
No, definitely. That's one thing I have a complaint. It's a good complaint that too much education going on. So I want people to take away from here that the time to invest is when it takes few minutes once you're educated enough. And we're not going to take your money unless you're educated, because we know that if you're not 100% guaranteed sold on your own and you're not educated enough, you will not be the right best fit. So tell me the truth. I mean, if you come today and say, hey, I want to put money, no, I'm not going to take money, because you're not well versed on the, this. You don't have to have a good background. Like you can be just like you said, bus driver. But as long as you know what is NOI, how these things get calculated, how the operation works, how the ups and downs of the real estate market is, how the tax thing works, then yes, you can be a good investor. And it takes only 5 minutes to invest. A long story short, it takes 5 minutes for anybody to think about whether the deal is good or not, and you invest in 5 minutes.
And we teach you how to do all that. So that's what when you join Lifestyles, we will teach you how to say that's a good deal or bad deal, and then you can invest. But literally, you invest in a deal like Binet's. You get a check once a quarter, and at the end of the year, you get a tax return called a K1. You hand that to your accountant, and you're done. It is literally that easy.
Just to add, David, I was going to give you, Alex. So the first deal that I did, right, it was 22 units, right? And guess what? We have already returned more than 240, 250, 200. I'm going to hit 350% return. But guess what? Not even a single penny has been paid. And I've been owning that since 2015. And those investors that we have over there, they have taken their $50,000 and they have already invested 3 times with me. So they're $150,000 right now.
Each deal as you refi and stuff. Yeah.
Now 4 deals with the same deal. That's what I want people to understand. We talked about earlier that you take a 50, you flip it, you make again and make again. And I have one investor, he does not even bother to tell me. He said, Binit, whenever you refinance, take the money, put in the other deal. Whenever you refinance, take the money, put in the other deal. If you sell something, I mean, he has not received a check from me. I mean, I do give him a check, but he meant to say, literally saying, I will send the money back to you. Just tell
him. He wants to keep growing the whole thing.
He has not even cast one penny from me. He just keep investing back. And now from $50,000, he has $250,000 investment in just a couple of years,
Cool. You ready to take some questions?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's see what the members have to say. Now's your time. Where's Ember? There she is.
All right. Hey, guys.
I'll let you guys get I'll shut up, but I won't shut up because I'll chime in anyways. But
that's fair. So thank you very much. Very awesome. And I've had at least 3 comments coming across that this has just been pretty much the best case study ever. People love the energy, really appreciate everything you're doing and sharing. So from the members and the guests, thank you very much. So got a quick question, couple quick questions on cash return. I know David's going to get into it this weekend, but just for our newer members out there, is there a very simple explanation that you would share as far as how that's calculated?
Yeah, so Alex can answer better than I do, but I'll just give you a quick answer. Cash on cash, we talk about if you put a $25,000 on a deal, right? And if you get 25,000 plus 25,000, that becomes 100% cash on cash. So that's a simple story. You put $100,000, you get $200,000 back. That becomes 100% cash on cash return. And that's a simple way. Alex, you want to add something?
Yeah, just the equation, guys. It's just your net cash flow divided by your total out of pocket. There's an equation for that. But let me simplify it without getting all nerdy, because I will get spreadsheet nerdy with all of you here. That's my thing. What we do, as far as when you become a preferred member, you have access to what's called the MFQA is the acronym, but it's the multifamily quick analysis. And what that does is what Binit uses, what I use, and all the lead investors or the syndicators use. We use this form, okay? And they're mentored. I mentor these members on this form. And so we put all our numbers into it, okay? And you can use it, you have access to it, and it breaks down your cash on cash return at takeover, year 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth, and you get to see that. And so when Binit puts these deals together, it's all laid out, it's clear. And then you go to, say, another lead that you want to invest with, okay? They're going to use the same form. Again, everybody follows the same roadmap. We don't reinvent the wheel. And so you'll understand how all this comes out in a simple to use spreadsheet that you can plug in the numbers. Heck, it's color coded, so you know where to plug in the numbers if you want to reinvent or recreate what Binit would send to you if you wanted to invest with them. So it's not something that where you have to know, how do I get to NOI? Well, it's income minus expenses equals NOI. If you want to know that, fine, it's on the spreadsheet, but it's not something that you have to figure out on your own. It's all broken down very systematically for you and easy to read in one page.
Yeah, that is a fantastically helpful form, especially when you're looking for an overview of a prospective opportunity to invest in. So thank you for going over that. Appreciate it. Now, when you're looking at cash on cash return, is that cash on cash to passives? And Jim is asking.
True, cash and cash to passive. I mean, there will be on this one. I want to go and mention that I have 10% compensation as a lead. So yes, that 10% compensation will be coming off on the cash and cash. So I gave you 10 cash and cash return on the property minus 10%, and that will be yours. Now remember, the one thing I want to point out, lots of investors and lots of people who are watching at Lifestyles, when we do 10% cash and cash, we're not taking from equity that you invested, only taking from the income that we make. So if you have $100,000 invested, we give you that $100,000 back. Whatever income we made as a syndicator, we take 5, 10, 15%, and then we pay back the remaining balance. So right now, what you saw the number, true, the answer, that is a property cash and cash return, and then we'll have a 10% compensation to the lead and the guarantors and people who are helping to get the deal done. So minus 10%
Okay.
on.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And then Binit, Cami was asking, she said the year 3 net cash flow is a little bit reduced, and she's kind of new to Lifestyles. So she was asking if you could explain that, and also how long do you plan to hold the property?
Good question, and that's what David gonna come in handy to explain in the details, but I'll try my best to explain right here. I'm not sure if she knows about loan structure, how the loans are in the market right now. So when we try to go get the loan from the project, banks tends to give you a little bit of a break at the beginning to get going. So they say, well, the project is good. We're gonna give you interest only loan for 2 years to get back on track. You don't have to pay the principal back. You can use your principal to reinvest in your property if you need to. Luckily for us, we don't have to do that. We actually happen to take that principal back to us and plus the cash flow. And that's why our number becomes 10% higher. On the year 3, we had to pay the principal, and that principal is not accounted in the cash flow yet because that is a part of the equity that you're building, right? And so it is 9% after that because we have to start paying our principal and interest together. And to answer your question about how long I'm going to hold the property actually bought in May. It's ready to sell today if I want to. We have already matured the property. My projection was close to 100% cash and cash return in 5 years. And I think if I sell the property today, I will give 100% return cash and cash to all my investors. But in this time right now, we are at least making sure we hold the property for 3 years, mature it good enough, make sure we have plenty of equity in there. Maybe in 2 years, because the loan structure that I have a prepay penalty like a 5%, 5%, and 4%. So the year 3 will be the good time to go ahead and venture out if I want to refinance, if the loan interest rate in the market is still low, or if the property is fully matured and it's just sell it and get tons of money out and take it and buy some more, you know. And so it all depends right now, but the projection was 5 years to begin with. To give a better answer, we are projecting a 5 years exit plan, but right now we are ready to exit, or we are ready to continue cash flowing and hold it and then exit 2 years later, 3 years later, or refinance. So our doors are wide open. We can go any direction without a problem.
Fantastic. And that was a fantastic explanation too. So thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. Any other questions we have?
That increased the NOI from May until today.
Hey, Amber, could you, you're cutting off.
Could you hear me all right? Cami had another question.
No, you're cutting off. Could you?
Yeah, try again, Amber.
So another question from Cami, and she was asking, what was the contributing factors that increased the NOI from the time you purchased in May until today?
All about revenue, which is the rent growth. The rent growth is 25% plus from day one. So that's how the NOI grew. And also the expense that they had was ridiculously, lots of junk expense that they had in their P&L. And we have cut down on the water a little bit. We have cut down lots of fake, the people used to not turn the electricity on back on, and the property will pay for the electricity and things like that. So we have automated everything, making sure as soon as someone moves out, the power gets turned on in our name, and then it turns off as soon as someone else moves in. So we cut the cost over there as well. We cut cost on the operation to increase NOI. But the biggest factor for the biggest NOI is the rent growth and additional income. They were charging $15 parking spot, $15 per parking spot. We're charging $50. Don't be mad. I did not do on purpose. Everybody's charging 50, so I say I gotta charge 50 as well. There is a demand for it.
Right.
So we increase the revenue by increasing the rent. So give you an example. When we got there, average rent was $900 for 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bath townhomes with a washer dryer connection, fireplace, individual AC, individual hot water. We took that to $13.99 day one. Just calculate the revenue growth for 54 units, right? By $300 on average. 300 times 54, that is a growth right there. So yes, that's how the NOI was grown, by true rent income, not by fake income, true rent growth. That's how the NOI was bumped almost $100,000 year one.
So let me add to that also.
That's fantastic.
So within Lifestyles, one thing that we teach everybody and that the members get if they so desire is this right here. Okay, and what we do is the 28 ways to increase your other income. So you hear Binit talking about these other incomes that he does, talking about charging for the utilities, increasing the rent or the price for the parking. We all do the same thing. And so when you're able to increase that other income and reduce your unnecessary expenses, it just makes your NOI jump. And anytime that NOI increases, the property valuation increases also. But again, we're not reinventing the map here or the wheel. We're all following the same program.
Thanks, Alex, for bringing that up. I actually forgot to bring the checklist.
Hey, I stare at this thing every day, man, and I've checked off. I've got notes on it. It's pivotal Alex, to our success.
I deviated from that one thing. I deviated People say 30 days notice, give them for rent increase. I gave them 3 days notice to rent increase. So I actually deviated a little bit of the lifestyle structure. So I went to May, right after, right before Memorial Day, we closed, right? So we are off for those weekends, and I get to the office. I work myself in the office for a few days just to get the feel of the property and the residence. And I raised the rent June 1st. People have to pay, because the lease had expired already. So there, either you pay $1,500 or you pay $1,399. What do
Yeah.
you do? And they're like, okay, $1,399, I'm signing the deal, right? So $400 increase right there. So yeah, I mean,
Right.
usually we give 30 days notice and this and that, but I took a little advantage of not having the lease on time, and people were ready to go ahead and secure the place because it's a fantastic location. They don't want to lose it, and that's why the previous owner was bleeding, and we saw it because we were educated enough to see the problems and just jump in there and start making money. And thank God for that, because that's what our passive wants to our lead to continue looking for those deals. There have some good value in there, and and the passive sees that right away when we present that case, when we do our presentation to the passive, and they quickly pick up. They know it, man. I know this deal. It's going to work, right? Because they're educated enough. So yeah, NOI was increased because of purely 24% rent increase. Yeah.
Nice, nice. That's fantastic. So Manish was asking if the townhome community that you purchased, did they have an HOA there or no?
No, actually, just to Manish, to answer your question, when you buy a property with all in one, doesn't have HOA because you are the operating manager anyway. So you are the HOA of the property, and there is no one to dictate because you don't have to deal with anybody else. HOA is created when you have more than one owners are involved in the community. And if you have only one owner, that is well. But again, to give an example, to help him out a little bit more, these townhomes are individually deeded and individually metered, right? So one thing is that on this one, we have an extra advantage. Our taxes are not appraised based on an apartment complex. Our taxes are appraised based on the single family comps. That is why we have actually lowered taxes, and I am taking lots of benefits right now because my taxes are, I paid $100,000. My tax appraised value is only $60,000. So that is the beauty of this deal right here, because I knew going in that the tax rate will be same for next 3 or 4 years, because the way the Tarrant County and the Dallas County is doing it, they evaluate townhomes every 4 years or 5 years. Until that time, they
Okay.
copy paste last year taxes. Again, I'm giving you lots of details, but yeah, when you have more than one owner, you have a HOA, but if you have only one owner, there is no HOA.
That's fantastic. Those are great details to know. That's very smart. So thank you. And James was asking if you manage these properties yourself or do you have a management team?
Well, I hope James had that question earlier, because I already answered that question for him, because he must have heard me talking
Sure.
day one. I was there running my own property, and lifestyle is all about run your own deal, because if you don't do it, you may not get the best return. So no, yeah, I do manage all my properties. We have a good team in-house, and they are doing fantastic job. We have a great office lady. I'm promoting her very soon to be my regional, and I have other properties that we manage together, my own team. So yes, it has been blessing that I get to learn that as well at Lifestyles. I did not learn that from outside. So just to let that person know, yes, we manage our own properties, and we wake up and get our coffee and get on going. We don't just sit down and chill, because we're a lead. We are not a passive. That's his job, to sit down and chill, and we work. We make sure the property is operating well, and we take responsibility for that. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. And then Jill was asking how you found this property.
Oh, it is. That's why it's called. What I talked about during my presentation, I said you cannot be stopped looking for one. You got to continue crunching the numbers every day, because you never know which property going to work. So we pick up and actually have a good relation, and which is everybody gets taught build relation with everybody, because if you have a good relation with your broker and anybody else, happened to be what happened. This particular broker had sold me small property, and he called me up and said, "Hey, Binit, do you want to come and check it out?" I'm like, "Man, I don't know if I want to. It's a townhome, 54 years only, kind of a small. Let's just come and check it out." Man, I'm like, "Okay, I'll come and check it out. I'll tour it just for you, because the brokers, when you have good relation, they want to give the seller number of tours they can generate, right? So I looked at it and I toured the property and I walked away. I said, okay, that's fine. I'll think about it, right? And then, actually in a week or two, he calls me and said, hey, do you want to put an offer on this one? I'm like, I don't know, man. You think I'm going to get a good deal on this one? What is the whisper price? Can I get a little discount? I'm a little greedy. Okay, sorry. So yeah, that's how it is. The relation is what makes it happen. If that, if the broker actually bottom line this deal right here, it could have gone to anybody else. But I have a very good relation with him. I treat him like a friend, like a brother. And he knew that to push me as a buyer with the seller, he had opportunity to push anybody because everybody was paying same amount. We all offered same price to purchase, right? And he had a chance to say, no, go with this person. And because he had a good relation with me and I had a good relation with him, he pushed that LOI to the seller saying, Binit is the guy for you. So that's how it works. You got to build a relation. You cannot be, saying, I know everything. It's a combined education, combined effort, and combined, work together. So that's how it is. I mean, that's the one way I found. Again, this was listed on Marks and Millichap. People were looking at it, but just because I had a good relation with the broker, he made it happen for me.
Yeah, there's another point I want to add to that for everybody. There is so much name recognition and power behind being a member within the Lifestyles Unlimited group, because they know that first and foremost that we're educated, and when we come and present to these deals, that we have the ability. If we present the correct offer for the asset that works for the seller, they know we're going to close. We have the ability to close. We have the ability to raise the funds and get across the finish line because they know we're being mentored and coached. In addition to that, we have masterminds every single month that help guys like Binit when they're working through a deal, or even first-time leads. So if there's anybody out there who says, you know what, I want to be awesome like Binit, I want to buy my own properties and syndicate my own deals, we have masterminds designed for that type of scenario. So all the newbies who want to get in and buy a property, well, we've got a group specifically devoted to them to teach them, walk through them every single step to get across the finish line.
And yeah,
and these
Amber,
brokers know that, and that's why they bring us pocket deals.
And that's one thing that I missed out in my answer. Yeah, Alex, thanks for bringing that in, because when we say we are from Lifestyles Unlimited Group, brokers are intimidated not to present us because they know we have the opportunity. We can close on this deal. If we sign the contract, we're not backing up. And I have yet to see a deal that any Lifestyles member or lead has signed a contract that has gone down. I have not seen. Alex, have you seen anything that we signed and we never bought?
No.
And that is
well,
why
there was one that that a member got cold feet towards the end. Well, they had a family, a tragedy in the family, and another member was able to swoop in and acquired the property and closed in 2 weeks.
There you go.
That again is the power of the group. That if there's an issue, something comes up, because hey, life happens to all of us, but the group is so strong and so organized and so together that somebody else was able to swoop in, and that member never lost a single dollar of their out of pocket expenses. Nothing.
Yeah. So now that's the value. That's why the broker from outside, they just love to sell to one of us, because they know if this contract is signed, they can assure the seller saying, guess what? You go drink your wine. Your job is done. Because now we have a player who will take this through all the way. And the vendors that we have in Lifestyles also, right? Our old capital concept, the lenders, brokers, I mean, they're fantastic. I mean, they're just phenomenal. I mean, just to give you an idea, Amber, you already know, Alex already know, but all it takes, one phone call. Can you imagine? I have done millions of dollars a deal, and it never have to say, hey, Ricardo, I'm going to come to your office and sit down and talk. No, I pick up a phone and say, hey, Ricardo, I got a deal, man. Can you get it done? He said, okay, send me the paperwork. Deal done. I had to pinch myself. Did I really get that loan that quick? I mean, I'm just baffled sometimes. I'm thinking, is it really for real that I'm getting a $6 million loan just by making a phone call? You know what I mean? Just because we have great vendors in our team.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So when you joined Lifestyles Unlimited originally, do you remember what year it was and
I
what
became
sort
just
of investment pool you had available to work with?
so I mean I became just a regular member, $400 $500 I paid in 2013 and never showed up again because I was too smart, I
Yeah.
guess. And then when I came back in 2014 and attended David's seminar, and the next day I made the lead and I invested 75K. At that time, we had plenty of investments available as well. And again, remember, it is not there is investments always there every day. You just have to network with the members and leads, and you will have available. So 2014 is when I became PIG member. We call it PIG, Preferred Investments Group. So I became member then, and then from there on, I never turned back. I just
And your first investment was 75,000, correct?
75,000, yeah. And that's also I did not even
Okay.
David. I did not think twice. People must think, oh, I'm going to start with 25. Right? I had a 75 funds available, and I told my wife what to do. I'm like, okay, well that's fine. We can take a risk. I mean, I know it's a lots of money for lots of people out there, but what happens is that you have to take the risk because this is not fake, this is real. And when I say I'm going to take a risk, that's only I'm thinking it's a risk, but we know truly in heart that it is going to turn into a 300 $400,000 down the road, right? So it's the first step that we take, and that was, for me, it was easier just because I was like, man, David, done, I'm in. What do you mean, where do we put the money, right? And that's what happened to me. I put the money day one, and I never turned back. Did I answer
Hey,
the question?
David, I'm reading the question, some of the question here that Ember's reading off of, but I see this guy Greg made a comment. He says, "You guys make more millionaires than the lottery did." I know this for a fact.
That is
You know what the difference is? We make more millionaires that actually keep the money.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Blow it because they don't have financial education. They don't know how to keep it. We know how to double it.
Yeah. Hey, kudos. I just want to say kudos to Greg for making that statement. That's fantastic.
very true.
Yes. Absolutely. I agree. And you've got to be seeing all the thanks and all the positive, encouraging words. They're just like flowing in. So yeah, you guys are amazing communicators. Thank you.
Awesome.
Agnes was asking if this property has a class assigned to it, and if so, what class would this property be assigned?
Well, it is in an area where you have quite a few C-class properties. But just to add over here, the reason I'm successful also, and I want to bring this up, I want to give a credit to someone else from Lifestyles, one of our leads, Kevin Charmer. Actually, I want to give him a credit for that. Because of him, actually, I bought the property. He has a property like a quarter mile, less than a quarter mile from this property. And he had already bought the property from other Lifestyles member, and he had gone there and done some crazy work. And I walked in there, I'm looking at him like, Kevin, are you freaking crazy? And he's putting this money in this deal, okay? And he got a brand new roof and 186 brand new AC day one. I'm like, that is crazy game. That's awesome game. So he had already done the job for me. So I want to thank him today on this, seminar webinar. I haven't thanked him for that, but I want to thank him for doing all the hard work before I came out there. He had already pushing the rent, and he was telling me, when you buy this deal, and if you rent your apartment lower than mine, I'm gonna come and kick your butt. And I'm like, well, he's like, man, I'm renting mine for $1,529, 3 bedrooms. And if you rent anything below $1,500, you have a problem, okay? But I was still forecasting only $1,250 for 3 bedrooms. And when I saw him, he's doing it, right? So he has a Class C product. He renovated quite, I guess, Alex, do you remember 1.7 million or almost close to $2 million invested in that deal? And it's beautiful now, okay? So when I saw his deal, I'm like, okay, well, if he is doing that on a C-class deal and he's getting that rent, mine is a B-class product, okay? Product is B-class, and it's a B+ class, for instance, but unfortunately, it's in a C+ area, right? But I have the most
Okay.
but I will tell Kevin, I have the most beautiful product out there, but he made his product beautiful, okay? But because of him, I'm able to gain that extra plus. So I will call it now a B+ in a C+ area, okay? So
And what he's bringing up is it's magical what Lifestyles does. If a guy here owns an Exxon, this guy owns a Shell, They don't share information, but here at Lifestyles, we do, the abundance mentality. Let's take one more question, Ember. I know it's getting late, it's 9
Okay.
o'clock. We gotta end at some point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So question as far as when to exit, how is that decision made? Do you make it or is it a group decision? What factors would you consider?
A good question, very good question. That's always a question that we always think about how to exit. And again, to answer the short answer is the group decision, right? But the group decision is made after the lead presents the options. What are our options? Hey, if we sell, we have this much return. If we refinance, we have this much return and this much cash flow thereafter. What are our tax consequences if we sell today versus tomorrow? So the lead has to present that whole data to our investors and have them look at it, review it, and vote on it. And we want to make sure the majority of the passive investors are on board with the decisions that we want to take. And the lead makes the final decisions anyways, but the fact that they have full support of the passive, what their game plan going to be, because we are as a lead working for our passives. Our goal is to make them money, not us. When they make money, I make money, right? If they don't make money, I can't make money. So the idea is to making sure the leads are and the passives are happy, but also to begin with, we always projecting 5 years or 7 years or 10 years plan. So our passives are educated enough to understand our exit situation, right? But when the market changes, right? If I see a crazy return, if someone comes out there and gives me $9 million today, I'm not going to say no to it. I'll tell my investors, hey, we got someone coming out there paying $9 million. What do you guys think? Can we handle it? Can you handle your tax burden? Can you handle the exit? Do you have a place to put this money somewhere else? Because you don't want to have this money sitting out there and doing nothing. You're going to have the investments right away. So we present that to them, and it takes 3 months to sometimes 4 months to close. And when we broadcast this information saying we are selling our deal and we're projecting our cash return to you in 3 months, guess what the passive are doing? They are hunting for new deal because they know the money is coming in. So that's why we always involve our passives on all the decisions making. Yes, we make the good decision at the end, but it's our job to make the decision, but we always want to make sure that our passives are involved and help us make the right decisions, and we go for it. And sometimes as a lead, we have to step up and say, you know what, guys, no. I can see, I just talked with my mentor, I talked with the broker, feels like maybe it was a good deal right now, but maybe if we wait 6 more months, we can get 5 more percent or 10 more percent or 20 more percent return, right? So this is interaction. Alex, do you have anything to add? I think that's the
You hit it on the nail on the head. I want to make a comment. I'm seeing a lot of questions come in about taxes, 1031 exchanges, all this kind of stuff. So let me just share with you all as members, passive members or be preferred members. I know that all of you are going to join tonight. Okay. With that said, here's the cool thing. We have tens of thousands of hours of education on our membership portal for you to review. Man, hundreds of hours on taxes of recorded webinars and presentations and education sessions. In addition to that, we have all the time, we have live webinars where we talk about different subjects such as taxes, these 1031 exchanges. What can you do as a passive with your taxes? What is a K1 and why should anyone care? And how does that reduce your taxable liabilities? Things of that nature. So you have a lot of you on these questions that you're putting in the chat group. They're very specific, but what I can tell you is that all of this is answered. There's nothing new under the sun that the 50,000 plus members within Lifestyle haven't asked, and everything's been answered. And it's all available to you as a preferred member.
Hey, can I just add something funny to it, Amber? You know what Trump said? I'm going to win so much, you're going to get tired of winning. That's what Lifestyle does. They're going to educate you so much, they're going to get tired of getting education. I mentioned David a while ago that I get freaking so many emails about this webinar and education that it's unlimited. That's what the name is, unlimited, right? So yes, education is there, guys. The questions that you're asking, fantastic questions. And these are the questions that one should be asking as good investors. And we love those questions. I'm a lead. I have nothing associated with Lifestyles beside I'm a member, and I love the team over there. They have given me all the opportunities that possible out there to be successful today. Yes, I could have been more aggressive and make more money, but that's fine. We will get there. But main thing right now, bottom line right here is that all the questions that you have is a good question. And that means it shows that you are on the path of success. If you don't have a question today, you must be thinking you are super smart. You're smarter than me. That's what I was doing. When I first came, I was like, "Ah, no question to ask. I know better." And I'm coming to realize if you have no question, you must be a millionaire sitting out there having $100,000 cash flow. That means you have no questions. If you have a questions, you are in the path of successful, investment, and that is what the lifestyle is going to do. What David going to do is tell you and explain you all your questions and give you better answers, because he has 2 days to explain that to you, and we have 1 minute to explain. And I don't think it will be justice to the question if we take our 1 minute to answer the question.
Hey, Binit, thank you so much for sharing your story, and Alex as well. I'm going to stay on here. I'm going to go through the membership again, and if you have more questions, me and Ember will answer them as well. But thank you so much both for giving back and sharing your story. I really appreciate it, guys. And by the way, Ember, you just heard Alex. I've told him to talk Sunday. So
Hey, I've got a lot of great things
Perfect.
to share with you guys. Some of the stuff I think is just really going to blow your mind. And then David, he's got his little jabs he likes to throw at me here, but it's good fun. And you guys will get a great kick out of the things we'll share. I'll share on Sunday. So I look forward to having a huge group there and sharing some really cool things.
I just want to add one quick thing. I'm not sure if we share that information with anybody watching. Remember what David said a while ago, that we share information, and that's why I want people to understand that when you become a member, for instance, I'm not telling anybody to be a member, but when you become a member, it's open book for me and open book for Alex. I can look at Alex's books anytime I want to. Alex can look at my book anytime I want. And one thing is that we always tell, lots of times when you go invest somewhere else, you need to get a permission to go to the property to look at the property that you invested. Over here, you said, hey man, that's my property because you invested in it. You can drive by any time. We welcome you to come to the property, look at it, check it out, tour the property. Any other, if you have not invested with me, you invest with Alex, and you know me now, and you want to come, welcome to my, property. Look around, case study every day.
always ask first. Just don't show up there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But I'm just saying the fact is that
Otherwise, 10 people show up the next day. You got to make sure. Just
yeah,
call
but,
you.
yeah. But what I meant to say is that you can make a case study for yourself every day. We have enough property around the country that you can visit. When you take a vacation to Florida, you can go visit. I'm not sure if we have Florida, but they're saying Hawaii. You can go to Hawaii. We have investors who have bought property in Hawaii. So that is how best outcome you're going to get out of the being member. And I love our members. They are super educated. And I feel like, there is education to be done every day. And thank you all guys for being, letting me present my case over here. And I hope people get to learn something today and, use that to make more money.
We'll have you back again, Binit. I remember you did a case study for me, and one of your pictures was you in this really nice white military uniform. Remember that? You didn't have that picture this time, so they didn't know you were a good-looking guy. I remember that picture. How did I forget it? Because I remember everything.
I know. I mean, all about, I want to show not my face, but the numbers, right? And people need to know number works. And when you get education, number will work for you. If you're not educated, number looks all like a crazy Greek alphabet, So anyways, guys, thank you so much. Appreciate for having me over there. And I'm glad I was able to share some information. And
Yeah, Binit, thank you. You crushed it. Your presentation was great. You're doing such a fantastic job on that with your properties. And thank you very much for sharing your family and everything you've accomplished with the members.